Also, it must have been a slip of the tongue. I don't want to pick on it, but I'm very tempted, sir. In a speech, I think he claimed that he travels 500,000 kilometers by road every month. Must have been 500,000.
We can overlook it. This does happen sometimes.
If it was wrongly heard, I want
No, I'll tell you. The leader of the House made a mention of 7 crore and he quickly corrected that it was 7 lakhs. So from that we can ignore.
All right. So education loans. He had a question to ask on education loans. So we have already announced measures for education loans in this budget for helping our youth who have not been eligible for any benefit under government schemes or policies. We have announced a financial support of 10 lakh for higher education within the country. E-vouchers for this purpose will be given directly to 1 lakh students every year for an annual interest subvention of 3% to the loan amount of the loan amounts. Sir, he also asked a question about Agniveer scheme. I wanted to highlight, sir, former finance minister has served as also former home minister. I'm sure he understands the nuance involved in national security. Agniveer is a very reformative step to enhance the capabilities and battle readiness of our armed forces. It ensures actually that we have fit soldiers who are on the front line. So one of the expected outcomes of the scheme is that armed forces will have much younger force by recruiting those in the age group of 17.5 years to 21 years and retaining only 25%, thus reducing the average age of the Indian soldier. Why should we do it, sir? In countries like the US and the UK, soldiers are required to render only 2 of the 6 years in service because they want to keep the young, fit and agile person at the borders. I hope on matters related to the fitness and battle readiness of the Indian Army or the armed forces, we don't do politics, sir, because it is something which is going to be critical for this country. We need young, fit and battle-ready young people who are going to be trained. In fact, I was going to bring in here one of the news items which had come in the recent last 2 days about how, in terms of fitness and in terms of skills acquired, which are so required at the borders, Agniveer people have come out with flying colors. Studies have proved it. So this is a scheme which is very important, and we need to have greater sense of looking at the national interest rather than just take policies on some other consideration. I'd like to remind, sir, when in 2014 Prime Minister Modi reviewed the situation, I got into defense only later in 17, and therefore with some interest I went back to look at also the earlier periods. 2014, Indian armed forces, particularly the army, didn't even have bulletproof vests. We had to panic buy and give them. And in that, the role of Manohar Parrikar ji, Arun Jaitley ji, to make quick procurements, and we had to procure it from elsewhere. But today, in our country, we produce bulletproof vests which are good enough for our army, and they feel that it has given them the sense of security. Not just bulletproof vests, sir, it is also a truth that in India at that time, for 10 years, major defense procurements did not happen. And this is not a fiction that I'm telling you. In the House, the defense minister then had said we can't procure it because we don't have the money. So Agniveer is a scheme which we brought in with great sense of commitment to keep our armed forces battle ready. and young and fit people get into the army, and I don't think there's a need for us to unnecessarily worry that this is causing some kind of a distortion. Not at all. It is with the acceptance of the armed forces that it has been brought in. Sir, he is also, I think I've addressed the 4 issues that he had raised. The 5th one is NEET. So, Honorable former Minister, he's a lawyer. Probably he spoke one day before the final judgment came from Supreme Court on the NEET. One day before he spoke, and therefore the verdict which was given by the Supreme Court, he probably wouldn't have been aware. The Supreme Court did not scrap NEET exams. It observed that there is no material at the present stage to indicate any systemic leak. That's about the NEET exam leakages. But abolition of NEET, I'm afraid to say, was triggered even before the leak issue came up. So I want to highlight some of the features, sir. NEET exam was notified. When was it notified? For the benefit of all our members. When was NEET notified? In 2010, December 2010, with its implementation. Who was leading the implementation at that time? It was led by the then DMK Minister Gandhi Selvan, who served as MOS for Health and Family Welfare as part of the Congress-led UPA 2 government. So it was brought at that time. The Supreme Court, while talking about the NEET, didn't take care of it. Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Please, please.
And that is why it is running even now with the stay. Sir, I want him to not interrupt with misunderstandings.
Mr. Wilson.
This is undone. UPA in 2012, the UPA 2.0 introduced NEET undergraduate for medical examinations as well, medical admissions. And 2013, the first exam took place. All during UPA 2013, the exam took place. When the Gazette notification of 20th December 2010 was challenged in the Supreme Court, both the lawyers of the Medical Council of India and UPA's Additional Solicitor General of India defended NEET. When it was challenged in the Supreme Court, December 20 was the time when Gazette notification was issued, and that Gazette was challenged in the Supreme Court. That time, both the lawyers of Medical Council of India and the ASG of UPA government defended NEET, saying this was an effort to streamline the admission process. Sir? Sir, therefore, sir, the ASG then stated that the earlier system of multiple examinations was neither in the national interest nor in the interest of maintaining the standards of medical education, nor did it serve the interest of the poor middle-class students who had to buy forms of several examinations and travel across the country to appear in the examination. Multiple examinations they had to take. NEET does not, sir, disadvantage anyone. NEET does not disadvantage anyone. It expands opportunities. Sir, Tamil Nadu students secure 85% of the seats with 69% reservation, which is upheld in Tamil Nadu. With that reservation intact, and with this process of NEET, 85% seats, which is 85% of the seats within Tamil Nadu, and 15% of all seats from all states put together, they can go for the 15% seats to any state that they want. So, Tamil students benefit from All India quota in other states also. Now, when former finance minister is talking about NEET, I also want to underline this fact, sir. 2011, when the DMK rule concluded, Tamil Nadu had just 1,945 medical seats. Presently, there are 10,425 medical seats, a remarkable surge of 8,480 seats in the past 11 years. Sir, therefore, NEET has ensured cost-effective medical education for families. Certainly, it has hurt some vested interests, particularly those in the medical education field, because no longer selling of medical seats is possible. And therefore, it has hurt a lot of people. That is why a particular lobby was actively against NEET, even before this NEET leak issue has come up. Sir, in the year 22-23, 12,997 Tamil Nadu government school students wrote the NEET exam, and of them, 3,982 students passed it. It is noteworthy that the pass percentage has increased from 27% in the last year to 31%. So I want to say, sir, only before NEET came in, only a few students from few schools in selected regions of Tamil Nadu could get medical seats. Now it is across the board. There are, of course, I don't know if you will permit me, government schools. I want to take the name of few government schools students from Tamil Nadu belonging to very humble backgrounds and rural areas who have passed the NEET examination over the last few years. I'll take the names, sir. Young girl Kanimuri, Needur Mailadurai, daughter of a laborer, Kooli Tholilali in Kurandai, and temporary taxi driver. He works also as a temporary taxi driver. She got in 2023. Annapurani from a place called Singam Punari, Sivaganga district, the district from where our former finance minister hails. That girl has also managed to come in. She's the daughter of a construction worker, 2023 again. Arivu Nidhi, Vrali Malai is the place from where she is qualified, which is in Pudukkottai district. Son of a laborer, and he is also a Kooli Tholilali in 2023. Divya Bharati in a place called Talavadi in Erode districts. Daughter of a laborer, again a Kooli Tholilali in 2023. Kavi Arasan from Karambakudi in Pudukkottai district, son of a farm laborer. Jeevit Kumar Periyakulam Theni, son of a goat rearer, shepherd, in 2020. Kavi Priya from Chayyar, sir, daughter of a farmer, 2022. Santanam from Dharmapuri, son of a farm laborer, 2022. Ramya from Karamadai in Coimbatore. She's a scheduled tribe, a particular tribe which is very disadvantaged in Tamil Nadu called Irular. She is a Irular candidate, daughter of a laborer. Yes, budget, because the former finance minister asked about it. I am duty bound to answer. Sir, I may get the name wrong. The last candidate who I want to say, Karamadai, Coimbatore, Pirisika. I may be wrong with the name. She's the daughter of a tailor. Now, are these not success stories of NEET? Are these not students from rural areas? Are these not students who belong to the lower strata? Construction workers, coolie workers, farmers, taxi drivers, their children are coming. Those are NEET. Sir,
please, nothing will go on record, Mr. Vasan. You are a very senior man. No, nothing.
Sir, I come to the last point, sir. I conclude. I come to the last point.
Please. No. Honorable Finance
The last point, sir.
Please take your seat. Please, nothing is going on record.
Sir, Honorable
Member,
Finance Minister.
I am extremely indulgent when you speak. But when Finance Minister speaks, no, she is not yielding. No.
Sir,
Please take your seat.
These are 5
Mr. Tiruchi Shiva has
questions.
done the right thing. Please take your seat. Please, please.
Sir,
Okay, go ahead.
the debate has happened. All members have spoken. Specific 5 questions which have been, whoever member was allowed by the chair spoke. Whoever member was allowed by the chair spoke. 5 questions specifically was asked by the former finance minister. I'm giving him answers. I wish, with your support, I hope all members can at least listen to the answers that I want to give.
Please, ma'am.
Sir, the last point. The last point, sir.
Last.
Former finance minister asked a couple of questions. Again, most members are saying, what has this got to do with budget? Why do you want to answer on this? Why do you want to answer on that? But it was a question raised. I don't know if it is related to budget, but because during the budget debate it was raised, I'm answering. Questions were raised. And I'm quoting the finance minister from the YouTube which comes of the debate in the Rajya Sabha. I quote, sir, I ask, why does the UPSC have to play a role in the appointment of the DGP of a state? Why should a state government not appoint the vice chancellor of state universities? Unquote. Sir, I'm just wanting to say, of course, people can say, why are you answering? It's not budget. But why was he asking? Because it's not budget, so I'm answering here. Sir, I am indeed appalled that a very respected senior advocate, I'm not an advocate with due respect.
All senior advocates are respectable.
Yes, sir. So, he has raised a question saying...
And you may not be aware, Honorable Finance Minister, I am a senior advocate under suspension. No, Mr. Prabhu Patel, I am a senior advocate and Bhupendra Yadav knows under suspension because if you hold an office like this, your sanadhi is suspended during that period. So I suffered, leader of the opposition, 2 things in 2019 when President issues warrant. Now imagine warrant to a senior advocate appointing me as governor. This led to suspension of my sanadh also. So you have respect, I'm sure, for all senior advocates, whether under suspension like me, not otherwise.
Sir. Sure, sir. Sir. Sir, I'm actually appalled because...
No, but the Honorable Finance Minister, former Finance Minister, had raised 2 very valid questions.
Yes, sir.
One, why should
UPSC...
in the appointment of DGP, UPSC should come into picture? And same he said about Vice Chancellors.
Yes, sir.
So you say you want to respond?
I would want to respond,
Please go ahead.
Sir, Honorable Finance Minister, former Finance Minister, has used this platform of vibrant democracy. I think he's misrepresented the situation to an extent that it goes contrary to the judicial verdict of the Supreme Court itself. So on both counts, sir, guidelines which have emanated from the Honorable Supreme Court are very clear. On this issue of DGP appointments, sir, as to why the UPSC has to play a role, I just want to highlight, it was in this case of Prakash Singh and others versus the Union of India, 2006. This case was decided by the Supreme Court on 22nd September 2006. And it directed in the following words, quote, the Director General of Police of the state shall be selected by the state government from amongst the 3 senior-most officers of the department who have been empaneled for promotion to that rank by the Union Service Commission, Union Public Service Commission. The state picks up on 3 candidates, sends the panel, and it is the UPSC which decides. This is the verdict of the Supreme Court, in that police reform related case, which was another policeman, Prakash Singh, and others have gone to the Supreme Court, and in that it clearly says that it is the UPSC. One, sir. Second.
1 second.
On the...
1 second. What is your point of order? Come to the point of order, don't make a speech.
Wait, sir.
1 second.
If Supreme Court decided yardstick is the criteria, why has the government not followed it in the case of Election Commission of India when there was a clear-cut directive?
Everything you say, Randeep Purjiwala, is irrelevant.
Why?
Everyone is aware about the judgment. Honorable members, no, not like this, sir. He had to speak. Has the former finance minister, look here, I take it as a very serious situation. Has the former finance minister, while asserting why are you having role of UPSC in appointment of DGP, misrepresented the situation? According to the present finance minister, the former finance minister totally misrepresented because there is a categorical judgment of the Supreme Court in the case of Prakash Singh, and directive is categorical. The state government will select DGP only out of a panel that is approved by UPSC. Now, this is a settled situation. Everyone knows. So I'm sure, as and when honorable former finance minister will there, I take a very serious view of it. One second, sorry. No. Honorable members, I take a very serious view of it because I have indicated this House cannot be used to emanate information by way of misrepresenting particularly a Supreme Court judgment known to one and all by and large, and that too from a senior advocate. Ma'am, I take note of it. You kindly put the judgment on the table of the House.
Just so.
Number. Nothing is going on record.
Sir, just so.
No, she is not Indian. She's not.
काफी प्रतिष्ठित वकील हैं, होम मिनिस्टर भी रह चुके हैं, तो क्या आप वो जब यहाँ पर उपस्थित रहे तो उन्हें अपना स्पष्टीकरण देने का मौका देंगे?
बिल्कुल ठीक। माननीय सदस्यगण, नहीं, माननीय सदस्यगण, दिग्विजय सिंह जी ने बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात कही है। एक चार्ज है कि पूर्व फाइनेंस वित्त मंत्री ने सदन के समक्ष महत्वपूर्ण तरीके से कहा है कि राज्य सरकारों का ही अधिकार है डीजीपी बनाने का, और आप यूनियन पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन को क्यों बीच में ला रहे हैं? उनका डायरेक्शन साफ है कि यू आर डूइंग दिस बिकॉज यू वांट टू कंट्रोल स्टेट्स। इंप्यूटेशन यही है। द प्रेजेंट फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर सेज दिस इज बीइंग डन नॉट बाय एनी एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर, दिस इज emanating from a judgment of the Supreme Court that was imparted in 2006, and the judgment is categorical, and I am sure even us, every lawyer knows it, that appointment can take place only out of a panel approved by UPSC. I agree to your suggestion, and we will put it to the former finance minister in what circumstances, while being senior advocate, he could misrepresent the situation so gravely to misinform the nation at large. We'll put it to him. I agree to your suggestion. Yes.
Sir, just to be sure, sir, I want to reread the verdict of the court. 22nd September 2006. Supreme Court directs thus, I quote, "The Director General of Police of the state shall be selected by the state government from amongst the 3 senior-most officers of the department who have been empaneled for promotion to that rank by the Union Public Service Commission," unquote. So that's about the DGP. Now I come to the issue of the Vice-Chancellor of state universities. Sir, Supreme Court of India again in a judgment in State of West Bengal versus Anindya, Sundar Das and others in 2022 asserted, and I quote, "Regulation 7.3 of UGC, minimum qualification for
UPC or
appointment of
UPSC?
This is UGC. Sir.
UPSC.
This is UGC, sir. University
Okay.
Grants Commission.
University
and that
grants.
was
Okay, okay.
Sir.
Please. Please.
Sir, Regulation 7.3 of UGC, minimum qualification for appointment of teachers and other academic staff in university and colleges and measures for the maintenance of standards in higher education. Regulations 2018 provides for the minimum qualifications of a VC selection procedure and the appointment procedure. In case of a conflict between the state legislation and the central legislation, in case of a conflict between state legislation and the central legislation shall prevail by applying the rule principle of repugnancy, as enunciated in Article 254 of the Constitution. Therefore, any appointment, sir, you're a senior advocate. I'm talking to you even though I'm not an advocate. I'm sure you're going to be conscious of what I'm talking. It's very well for the members to be conscious, but don't they trust in you? You're the chairman of the House, but more importantly, you're a senior advocate of the Supreme Court, who's also the chairman of the House. I wish the members give you that much of trust and faith in what they are doing. Therefore, sir, any appointment of as a Vice Chancellor, contrary to the provision of the UGC regulations, can be said to be in violation of the statutory provisions warranting a writ of quo warranto, unquote. Sir, how can we therefore countenance a former finance minister coming to the people at large and talking about dilution of federalism, when it is clear that when there is a conflict between the two, the central legislation is the one which is going to prevail, and that is Article 254. So, therefore, sir, I just want to highlight that a field which is occupied by the judgment of the Supreme Court in these matters, to which, by virtue of being a senior advocate, the Honourable former Finance Minister should be more aligned with the judgment. I wish to indicate to the House that these judgments and the spirit which is caught in these judgments are very important. And therefore, when he is referring to why should the DG be appointed, why should the Vice Chancellor be appointed by the UGC and so on, there is so much of legal material available. Even if the honourable members are suggesting contradictory judgments are there or judges are reconsidering, all that apart, when even those are taken on board, when it is sub judice even on a different bench, when it is so clearly being legally scrutinized, how can we come here and say, no, it has to be done, why should the state? No, sir. These are matters being taken up, as the Honourable Member Wilson is highlighting. Yes, these are being taken up by the courts. But here to come and assert a final word is amazing. Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. L. Murugan to move the following motion. That the rule, nothing going on record. That the Rule 272 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Council of States in its application to consideration of the demands for the grants of the related ministries, departments for the year 2024-25 by department-related standing committees during the current session of Rajya Sabha be suspended. Motion moved.
Respected Chairman, sir, with your kind permission, I rise to move the following, that the Rule 272 of the Rules of the Procedure and Conduct of the Business in the Council of the States in its application to consideration of the demands for grants of the related ministries, demands for the year 2024-25 by department-related standing committees during the current session of Rajya Sabha be suspended.
Motion moved. Those in favor will please say aye. Those against will please say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Discussion on the working of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Shri Ghanshyam Tiwari to raise a discussion. Mr. Saket. Mr. One second. Take your seat. Mr. Saket. One second. If the Honorable Minister has not responded to something.
तो अब से थोड़ी देर पहले वित्त मंत्री निर्मला सीतारमन बजट पर चर्चा जो हुई लोकसभा और राज्यसभा में उस पर जवाब दे रही थी। कल उन्होंने लोकसभा में जवाब दिया और अब से थोड़ी देर